Hey, how y'all doing? This is so random, but I'm not gonna hold y'all and babble a lot, even though I say that, and I'm probably end up babbling a lot. But I was thinking a little while ago about things and dates and trajectories that changed the course of my life. If anybody know me, they know I have a very vivid memory. I can remember dates, times, places, what people had on, what people was doing, stuff like that. So I said that to say this. Story may be a little bit detailed, a little bit off, and anything else, but if you know me, you know how I tell stories. But anyway, so I was thinking about a day that changed my life. And I probably tell a story about certain dates. Like I remember July the 19th, 1992 was the day we moved to Monroe. June the 10th, 2001 was the day we moved to Texas. Uh, January the 15th, 2019, today I lost my mama. Take it back. September the 9th, 1991, today I lost my grandmother. It was a Monday. I remember I was in first grade. But I'm going to talk about July the 3rd, 2005. That was the day that I turned 7 months pregnant. And a day that really changed my life. My life. Okay, so backing up, start from the beginning. I met my baby daddy in October of 2002. My baby daddy name is B. I met him in October 2002. When we first met, like, he was kind of cool, but like I literally did not like him. It took me a while to realize, oh, this little nigga like me. Like, I didn't know. Like, he was friendly, and it's not like I couldn't pick up on it, but I was just friendly too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be direct with me. And then where I'm from, dudes shoot their shot. You know what I'm saying? But he was easing his way on into me. Okay. So we met in October. We talked for a little while. Not that long, because November 25th, 2002, my 18th birthday, he went to jail. Yep, I remember. He went to jail. That was the first time I ever went to school on my birthday, because I went to school in Louisiana and my birthday I always fall during Thanksgiving break. So, and in Dallas, their Thanksgiving break was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In Louisiana, it was Monday through Friday. So that was the first time I had went to school. Left school early because it was my birthday. My mama was gone to Louisiana because my sister had just had, I think, her fourth child. Yana had just had little Frank, and mom was gone. I was at home, me and my pops, my stepdaddy Roy, and uh, I remember I got out of school, we were sitting in the living room, and there was a knock on the door, and it just so happened to be Brandon's ex-girlfriend, who I went to school with, and she knocked on my door and told me that he was in jail and I should call his grandma. So when he went to jail, when I was 18, I literally thought he was going to be gone for 10 years, because he was on 10 years papers. And I didn't know how Texas worked. In Louisiana, if you got 10 years paper and you go to jail, you doing them goddamn 10 years. But anyway, that didn't happen. So he ended up going to jail. He thought he was going to get out, but he didn't get out. He actually ended up doing 2 years. So he went to jail on my 18th birthday, and he got out December the 1st, 2004, a week after I turned 20. So while he was in jail, we communicated. You know what I'm saying? While he was in jail, I also found out that nigga had a lot of hoes. You know what I'm saying? I also found out that he had a girlfriend while he was in jail. Real shit. So anyway, he gets out of jail Wednesday, December the 1st. I was at home at my mama's house on Woodleaf in Pleasant Grove. The phone rung, and I saw his grandmama name pop up on my call ID. We didn't have cell phone stuff back in the day. It was 2004. And I was like, what the hell? So I answered the phone, and it was him. And he was dead ass at home from the pen. At that time, I had just lost my job, and my birthday had just passed. But anyway, I had called my homegirl and asked her for some gas money. And y'all, my exact words to her, and she'll tell you this. I said, I need some gas money because I'm finna go get pregnant. It was a Wednesday, December the 1st, 2004. I went over there. He was drinking Hypnotic and Hennessy. And I stayed over there. And we hunched. And when we hunched, I'm getting too detailed, but when we hunched and we got through, he basically told me that was a girl. No lie. So he got out of jail December the 1st. I found that I was pregnant like January the 3rd, January the 4th. So when I found that I was pregnant, he was happy. He was freaking ecstatic. Like, he was dead ass happy. And it's kind of was like, okay, boom, I got a back. Go back. Okay, so boom. He get out of jail, we smash or whatever. I had no expectations. Real talk, because I knew he had a girl, but you know what I'm saying? I also know he had just got out, and you know how niggas is. So I was really over there for a good time, not a long time, no lying. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened because we hunched. But anyway, so he got out of jail that Wednesday. I remember that Friday, he called me and he said, we need to go out and sit down and eat because I got something I gotta tell you. And I was like, okay. So I remember that Friday, I picked him up. Y'all, we didn't even make it to the goddamn restaurant. He started spitting the beans. He was like, man, he was talking about his girl. I'm not gonna say his name. He was like, man, why? Because they was together while he was in jail. And even though me and him had communication, like, she was there. She held him down. And he was telling me at the time that he had intended on coming home and not be serious, halfway serious, but basically he was coming home to her, you know what I'm saying, because her loyalty, you know what I'm saying, like, and I respected that. But y'all, guess what he told me? He said that she told him that she was a lesbian. Not only a lesbian, she was a stud. And now, 20 years later, she's a dead as a boxer. She's a handsome boy. But anyway, so he was kind of messed up behind it. Like, he really, really, really was messed up behind it. And he kind of like, he kind of like, he used to make like little jokes because he'd be like, I can beat a nigga ass, so I can shoot a nigga, but I can't do nothing with no girl. And you like the girls I like. But anyway, so that was 2 days after he got out. Mind y'all, we had just hunched and it was real, real cool. We didn't know I was pregnant. So after that, me and his friend had a conversation. Me and his homeboy knew each other before I met him, because me and his homeboy went to school together. I met his homeboy in 01. I met him in 02. And I didn't meet them together. I actually met them separate, and just so happened they ended up being homeboys. But his homeboy and me went to school together. Like, that was my round. So I'm talking to his homeboy, and his homeboy was like, you know, he talking about being with you. And I was like, the fuck? Okay, let's wait and see. But anyway, so his homeboy told me that, and Brandon was kind of showing me that, and the month of December, like, we was dead ass together every goddamn day. He had just got out of jail. I ain't had no job, but y'all, I ain't gonna even tell y'all what we did. But we was hustling every day getting goddamn money. It really was. Christmas came. What he do? I think he went to Texarkana for Christmas. And I spent Christmas with my mama now. Okay, boom. So he come home December. New Year's come. January, I think it was the 3rd or the 4th. I take a pregnancy test because my period husband came on the day after Christmas and it didn't. I take a pregnancy test and boom, I am pregnant. And I don't know if this nigga won't answer the phone or I couldn't find this nigga or something, but I was trying to get in contact with that nigga and I couldn't find a nigga because he was on one of his goddamn whole rendezvous or whatever. I don't know at the time, but that's what it was. So I got in contact with him. I told him I was pregnant. And y'all, from the time I told him I was pregnant, it was just like we literally been baby mom, baby daddy ever since. He never denied my baby. He told everybody, and that's just what it was. So after I get pregnant, mind y'all, that December we close. He doing his little thing, but he also covering his shit up. But you know what I'm saying? I still know he doing his goddamn thing. So boom, after I get pregnant, I tell my mama, I tell my daddy. He told his people. Now his people was not for that shit. Mainly, basically, I'm gonna tell y'all who his people is. He had a very small family. He was the only child. His mama had a sister. She had one child. His grandmama had his mama, his auntie, and like another son that lived, I think in freaking Bermuda or somewhere. But basically his family was really small and all of them was women and they was not for that shit. His mama was kind of like, we'll wait and see. His grandma was like, no. His auntie was like, hell no. Like, nope, that ain't his baby. This isn't it. So what happened was, I didn't feel away. Even though they was questioning the paternity of my child, I didn't feel away. And the reason why I didn't feel away is because of the circumstances. Number one, you've been gone for 2 years. You just got home. Number two, you had a whole girlfriend that you came home to. Number three, you been home a month. Who is this bitch talking about she pregnant? Like, we know her, but we don't know her like that. Okay, so I didn't have a problem with it. And I told him, shit, okay, when the baby born, we'll get a DNA test. I ain't got time for that. Like, go on about your business. But he kind of like, they was like at odds about it. But on my mama, he always stood 10 toes down for me. Like, he never denied my baby to them. Like, he never, like, when it was them, he always took my side. He really did. And then, like, even his homeboys and stuff, when they found out I was pregnant, they were like, that nigga want a girl. That nigga been wanting a girl. Like, ever since we was in the 8th grade, this nigga been talking about having a daughter. So, boom. I get pregnant in January. We found out I'm pregnant in January. February, I go to Louisiana. And while I'm gone, this nigga calling me every day. I was gone for a week. He calling me, you need to come home, you need to come home. I can't do this, I can't do that. Basically talking about something, he can't function without me. So boom, what do? I come home a day early. And what I do? I go over his house. And guess what happened? A girl was over there. I was so mad. Like, that was like the first time, like, we really, 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 it went down. And it was bad. And the auntie who didn't want too fun of me being pregnant. Oh yeah, because I was at her house, y'all. And I performed. I did. I performed. I was 2 months pregnant. I wasn't showing. It was the day before Valentine's Day. Bitch, I've been gone for a whole week. And you been calling me every day, telling me to come home. Okay, moving right along. So after I went to his auntie house and I caught him with the girl, he basically said that I just got out of jail and you pregnant and we gonna be together when you had a baby. But just let me do this. I'm gonna take care of you, but this and this and this and that. And I told him, you got me fucked up. Now what I'm not gonna do is force nothing on you. I'm not gonna chase you. But what I'm not finna do is sit here and be fucking pregnant and stupid over your goddamn ass. Y'all know lie. So when that first happened, I wasn't showing yet. Should I start dating? Did I have sex with anybody? No, I didn't. But I started dating to piss him off because I can go smash him whenever the hell I feel like it because ain't nobody got time for that. But nigga, so give me some niggas. And I remember it was 2 days after that incident happened. I guess they were like, damn, Jam, you move fast and don't play. Anyway, so I was out with this dude, and what's so crazy, I was out with this dude, and I don't know how the hell his homeboy ended up being there with. Okay, that's what happened. I met up with him at his house, and we met up at his house. That's what happened. And Brandon called me and asked me what I was doing. That's when I was finna get ready to go over his house, and I said I'm finna go on a date. And he like, that dude trying to fuck you. I was like, he ain't trying to fuck me. I knew I was gonna smash him anyway, but I also knew I was just trying to make him mad. Now, rule number one, back in the day, I used to tell niggas the truth. Rule number one now, don't tell these niggas the truth. If they find out, they find out. If they ain't see you, you ain't do it, but moving right along. So, boom. Me and him, we still, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. We did the most. We really did. Like, that was my baby daddy. And from February to July, we was together. We had ups and downs and a whole lot of stories that I can really, really, really tell y'all about. That's some really crazy, funny up and down, but that ain't what the story time about. This story time about the day my life changed. So, we lived on Woodleaf in the Grove, and Brandon used to be back and forth at his grandmama house. Brandon used to be at well. But when we and my mama went out of town, she used to always leave a key with Brandon so he can go check up on our house. We had a nice 2-story, 3-bedroom. It was a nice house in the Grove. What's so funny, we was the first people to live in that house. But anyway, and we had went out of town previously, and he, did or whatever. So I remember it was July the 2nd. We was getting ready to go out of town. I was big pregnant too. My mama had rented a car. My mama was cute as fuck. We was on our way to Louisiana. Mama had rented a car. She was all cute. We had pulled up on Brandon at his grandmama's house. And we pulled up on Brandon. I seen these two girls get out the car and walk up the stairs right above Brandon grandmama's house. I seen him walk past them and he said some funny stuff to him and they kind of kicked it and cackled and they went on about their business. And he came over to the car and I let the window down. He came on the passenger side. I let the window down and he rubbed my stomach. And he looked at mama. Mama had on, mama hair was kind of swooped this way. It was kind of flipped in the back. She looked good. She had her shades on. Had on her layered tank top, like one tank top and another tank top on top of the other one with her jeans on and her shades. And she said, I look good, don't it? And Brandon said, always. Brandon and my mama really had a different relationship. Like, they really loved each other. Like, they did as these. Like, they really had a good relationship. I can get into that another time. So, we go to Louisiana. We make Louisiana. I talked to Brandon. I got down there. Went on about my business. The next day, it was July the 3rd. I had on a pink. It was like a tulle top that stopped right here, but it came all the way down to my knees. And I had a pink thing, and I had on some white capris. I had on some flip-flops. And I remember that day vividly. I was with my mama, and let me tell y'all something. That was the first time I had been to Louisiana since I was like big pregnant. And I'm from Louisiana. Like, they knew I was pregnant, but they hadn't seen me. So everybody was like, oh my God, Jazz. I went to my auntie's house. I was sitting outside. I had left there. We had went over my best friend Trent's house because she had her son. Trent's baby was doing July, but she had him May the 22nd. So I was over there looking, visiting her baby and stuff. He was in his car seat and stuff. We did lots today. We rode through Tricia. We just went and seen people. We went and seen Mama Rose and stuff. So we headed on back to Bastrop. And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I said this shit that day. That shit is crazy. So my baby daddy was a whorehead, and my baby daddy, he was a street dude. Like he got his money and stuff in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I always had a fear, that he would go back to jail because number one, he went to juvie. I had only known that nigga a month, and he had did 2 years, and then he had only been out at this time 7 months. So we really only got 6, 7, 8, 9 months together. You know what I'm saying? He was so goddamn hard-headed, and I remember 3 weeks before this happened, he ended up going to jail. Me and him had beefed out, and I hadn't talked to him all day because I was the type that I wasn't going to call that bitch because I knew he was going to call me. He really was. Like, I really didn't chase that bitch. And I hadn't talked to him all day, but then the next day, his cousin called me because he was in jail. And I didn't know he was in jail because I wasn't even talking to the bitch. And he went to jail with his friend. He had a pistol in the car. He was not supposed to have a pistol. His friend took the pistol charge, and he went to jail for an old warrant that he had before he went to the pen, so they had let him right out. He went to jail in McKinney, and I stayed in Pleasant Grove, borderline Mesquite. I left there and went to McKinney and picked him up. When I picked him up and he got in the car, I said, you blessed, right? And he just shook his head. Like, yeah. Then he shook his head. He was like, man, I don't think I was thinking I ain't gonna even see my baby. This was 3 weeks before this happened, before July. Now, so I would say this was around June. Now, that previous month, May, him and his friends was doing their thing, and one of them had got hemmed up and pistol whooped. He came over my house. His car was shot up. I'm just shaking my head. I was like 5 months pregnant this time. Yeah, I'm going back. This time I tell stories. Forgive me. So back to July the 3rd. I hadn't talked to him that whole day, but it wasn't abnormal. I said this that day, y'all. I said, I can't believe Brandon been out of jail this long. Brandon been out of jail for 7 months. So he got out of jail December the 1st. We found out I was pregnant in January. The baby was due September the 3rd. So this is July the 3rd. So that's when I turned like right at 7 months pregnant. So I had went on about my day, went to my auntie house, seen all my family, boom, 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 get back to Bastrop to my auntie house. And I called him. And when I called him, a girl answered the phone. A girl who really was his ex-girlfriend, who came and told me he went to jail on my 18th birthday. She didn't want to answer the phone because that's a whole other story for a whole other day. And she answered the phone. I said, "What Brandon?" She said, "Right there." I said, "Would you hand him his phone?" She said, "Oh, you don't know?" I said, "What?" Brandon was upstairs with those girls, and one of them is unalive. He say she unalived herself. He over there talking to the police. I'm like, what the hell? Y'all, no lie. I'm gonna tell this story, and I'm low key ashamed, but I gotta tell this part. I was like, what? And she was like, well, they can tell if she did it because of the residue. And I'm just like, I'm so discombobulated, y'all. Like, I'm really freaked out. So this happened. It was right when nightfall. No, it wasn't when nightfall. He was a little while after. And when she told me that, y'all, my nerves just got shook. Because I literally had just said this nigga been out of jail for a long time, 7 months. So I left my auntie house and I was walking down the street, y'all, and no lie. I had got some weed from my cousin and rolled me a joint and was walking down the street. And God forgive me, I was like, you was smoking when I damn sure did. Yeah, I went. I walk around the neighborhood and I was hitting a joint. I knew I couldn't do it around my people. That won't get on my ass. Y'all, while I was walking, smoking that joint, crying, and the police pulled up on me. Yeah, the police pulled up on me. When the police pull up on me, I'm walking down the street. The police pull up behind me. Y'all throw the shit out the way and walk. And then when the police, stop me, I turn around and he can see I'm pregnant. I told y'all I had on the little pink thing, hair up in a bun. Hair was braided up in a bun. And the police said that we got a call about somebody suspicious walking through the neighborhood because I'm black and I'm pregnant, like a little hood rat. Anyway, it don't even matter. But I told the officer that I had just got some bad news and he could see that I was crying distraught and I was pregnant. So he told me, he like, you want to ride back? I said, no, it's just right up the street. So I immediately walked back that goddamn way because now I get back and I'm calling the phone and the girl answering the phone and I'm asking her, I'm like, who there? And she was like, his auntie was there, the one who didn't like me or whatever. And by 4 o'clock that morning, they booked him for M. It happened July the 3rd. By the time they booked him, it was July the 4th. I got a picture from that morning. I'm going to see if I can find it. I woke up at my sister's house, y'all. I was sick. I was in Louisiana. And what's so crazy, y'all, he wanted to go to Louisiana, but I wouldn't let him go, number one, because he was on parole and I didn't want to get him in trouble. I didn't want him to get in trouble. Even though he had went out of state with other people, anyway. So, I think this happened like Sunday or Monday. We ended up coming home Tuesday. It was a couple days later. We made it home. We put up at the gas station. And we got a newspaper. Mom used to always buy a newspaper. It was a little story about this big. It said it had the little story in there. Mind y'all, I hadn't cried. Yeah, I was literally numb. Like I cried when I hadn't cried since the police had walked up on me. So yeah, we make it back to the house. We make it to our house. And mind y'all, we had gave him the key before we left. We make it to the house and I open the door. And I could tell he hadn't checked that house. I can tell he hadn't been there. But mind y'all, this happened a day after we left. You know what I'm saying? And we was gone for 2 or 3 days. So he probably wasn't going to go over there the first day. I remember standing in that kitchen. Big pregnant. Just bawling in my mama's arms. Like I was jumping up and down, screaming. My mama was just holding me. And I just could not believe what was happening. And I'm going to tell you why. What he went to jail for, it wasn't him. Now, I have my own opinion about what happened, but at the end of the day, he did that. You know what I'm saying? Was he angry when he did it? Was he malicious? No. I'm gonna tell y'all, cause I know my baby daddy. I know exactly how this happened. The girl who he did that to, she was one of the girls who he was messing with. Was he messing with a lot of girls? Yes. How do I know this? It's because I knew my baby daddy voicemail code to his phone. And every time I call him, he'll answer. I would call him private several times just so he could send me just so I could check it. So I knew, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to downplay the situation. Like, she stayed above his grandmama. One of the girls he was messing with. He also was messing with this one, this one, this. He had a lot of girls. I'm not. But I wasn't there. My personal opinion, because from my previous experience of with him, that you know what, I ain't gonna even say what I think happened, but at the end of the day, that happened. But I didn't feel like I knew that he would go to jail, but I didn't think he would go to jail for a long time. Even though I know he gonna lie to somebody, but I'm gonna tell y'all why. It how the case was. And then after I went to the trial and I sat through the trial, I really felt like, oh, he going, but he ain't going, do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't a motive. He didn't have previous, well, how can I say this? The gun wasn't in his possession before that incident. The gun was in someone else's possession. When he got the gun in his possession, it was no clip in the gun. And it was something in the chamber. And that happened. So, this happened in July. I was 7 months pregnant. I had Noonie August the 26th, a month and a half later. He went to jail. I visited him every week. I put money on his books up until I stopped working. I stopped working like the first week of August. I put money on his books. I bought the stuff for the baby. And the day before I had Noonie, I had went to visit him. And he usually be cool when I visit him, but this time he was like extra mad and extra angry. Mind y'all, he had been there for the first 7 months. This is the last end of the pregnancy, and I am really, really, really big, because you get real big that last month. And he just tweaked out. So I went home. I went in labor like 12 that night. I had Noonie 2:20 that afternoon. When I had her the next day, my mama went to go pick up Brandon mama and Brandon grandmama. Oh yeah, my y'all, this happened. The incident happened right above his grandmama apartment, because the girl and his grandmama was neighbors. So anyway, his grandmama came and his mama came and they seen a baby. He told me later on that his granny said that the baby don't look like you, but that's your baby or whatever. So I had Noonie in August. His trial happened in April. Now we get to the trial, y'all. And I sat through the trial. And I'm listening to everything. I listened to the judge get a jury instructions. No lie, he only had one black jury. It was an old man. He had this one white man who looked so goddamn serious. You know what I'm saying? They went through all, everything. We in the court, and the jury reached a verdict, but they wasn't going to give it that day. They was going to give it the next day. So the girl previously, who I had caught him with when I had came from Louisiana when I was 2 months pregnant, she was there. Now I'm gonna say this, and this is 20 years later, because he went to jail in 2005. He got out of jail December 2004. It's December 2024. She came around like February, March. I just say February. Me and this girl never had words. We never had no problems. She is fucking cool. Like, to this day, she fuck with my baby. Like, she was at my baby graduation. She just called me I ain't gonna tell you, but I fucks with her. We actually ended up meeting up at the jail one time for a visit. She came while I was visiting him right before Christmas, and she was gonna leave, but I told her to stay because I was there waiting on him to come sit down, and she had came. And I didn't see her because I know I'm going off subject again, funny. I didn't see her because my back was turned. But I heard uh uh they had gave her somewhere to go sit. And then I heard them call her number back and I wasn't paying attention, but I also heard that person say, he got somebody at 12 and I don't want no problem. I looked up, y'all, and I was at 12. So I turned around and it was her walking by and I called her name and she called my name. So what was funny was she was going to leave. I said, no, stand right here because I want him to see both of us and his baby when he opened his door. And y'all, why that boy opened the door and seen us and turned around, told them people come get him, and then he just was playing. But me and her actually ended up having a visit though. And like I say, we never had no problem. So yeah, the jury come back with a verdict. It was me and her in the courtroom, y'all. We in the courtroom with our hands like this, like we in the courtroom, like. So we was in the courtroom. I was really confident after sitting through the trial and hearing the people instructions because they said, if you feel like this, charge him with this. If you feel like this, charge him with this. He was trying to go for a lesser charge because they didn't have no, like he didn't have a violent domestic background. They knew, DA knew about the possession of the firearm, but because it was basically her and him and she passed away and he, and like on the cool, like, anyway. They said charge with this, charge with this, charge with that. They came back and they found them guilty. No, like I knew they was gonna find the man guilty. I knew it. So then it's time for the sentencing. Mind y'all, he had a background. And the judge said if the jury find this paragraph 2, basically the least amount of time he could have got was 15 years. The most time he could have got was 99. At the time, I was 21. My baby was 7, 8 months. He was 22. This was 2006 at this time. This was 2006. He got out 2004. This happened 2005. The trial was in 2006. Me and her in the courtroom just like this. They found him guilty. And they sentenced him to 99 years. He is eligible for parole a month before our daughter turns 30 because this happened a month before she was born. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my life changed. And I'm going to tell y'all how my life changed because I wasn't preparing to be a single mother. And what I mean by that is my baby daddy was right there with me. Like, if it, tell y'all something, my baby daddy never went against me for nobody. He had hoes. He had family members that didn't like me. Anybody who went against me, he ain't never play about me. And I'm talking about to my face and behind my back. Now, he'll talk shit about me. He'll talk shit to you about me. But you can't amen what he's saying. Like, he wanted that baby. He was so happy from the time I told him I was pregnant. Like, he said his baby mama, you would think that baby was here. He wanted a girl, and he just wanted to be there for her. I would have never thought that would happen. Y'all, like, my baby daddy, he did his thing every day. But he is not a Emma. He not. He is a careless. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I am no way disregarding him taking anybody's life. That was a beautiful look. I don't say look. That was a beautiful woman. Cause I was 20, she was 23. That was a beautiful woman. She had a good job. She was taking care of her little sister. Mama had passed away. You remember when I told y'all when we pulled up and it was two girls walking up the stairs? It was a chocolate one, kind of thick, and there was a skinny one, a little bit lighter than me. She was the lighter one. And what's so crazy, I knew both of their names because I. So when the girl on the phone, when his ex-girlfriend answered the phone, and she said one of them had passed away, I said, was it this one or that one? And she said her. I was like, Now, at first he couldn't tell me exactly how it happened, but since then it's been 20 years. I know exactly how it happened, and I'm not disregarding the life that he took, and I honestly believe cold-heartedly he was supposed to pay for what he did. I just honestly don't believe that he was supposed to do 99 years. And y'all, he been in there ever since. Our daughter is 19. She's in college. She's a sophomore in college. He has not been free a day in her life. Mind y'all, I don't have any more children. He don't have any more children. Make a long story short, his aunt, who wasn't really for the bullshit, well, my shit, I guess the baby, she was there for my baby from the time my baby was 4 months until my baby was 14. 14 or 13. When it was 13. She was there for my baby from the time my baby was 4 months to 13. We don't have no dealings with her now, but at the same time, he don't have no dealings with her now. His grandmama, my baby great grandmama, my baby knew her and was a part of her life. She passed away when my baby was 6. Now, Brandon's mother passed away in 2020. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Yeah, I would just say this. His mama passed away in 2020. He didn't go to the funeral, but he seen his mom in the casket. He did. He seen his mom in the casket. What happened with life after that? Y'all, at first, when it first happened, I was kind of stuck. And I just was kind of like doing a waiting game. Like, I wasn't finna hold that nigga. I knew I wasn't finna do that. But at the same time, I do got this man child. So know how he felt about his child. So I made sure to this day, she talked to her daddy today. She know her daddy. She's always known of her daddy. At first, I kind of stuck to the age appropriate type stuff. She just know that we used to go visit him, and she's like, why he can't come to our house? You know what I'm saying? And then when she got a little bit older, we explained to her that he was in jail because that girl's smart. You can't keep it from her. And we didn't tell her when he was gonna get out. I always told him he had to tell her because I just couldn't tell my baby that. But I could tell y'all how she found out. I think she was probably about 11 or 12 years old. And what happened was he write her. Like, I used to write him and stuff. But when she got to an age where she can write her own goddamn dad and I can buy you stamps and envelopes, third, fourth, fifth, do your thing. But anyway, he used to put our letters together. And I guess he assumed I checked the mailbox. I don't know how this ended up happening. I'm trying to figure out how she ended up. She basically found the piece of paper print out from the jail that he sent me that basically had his sentence on there. Basically had how long he was gonna do in the pen. Like, it literally said 221. It was 2103, and the sentence said 99 years. And at the time she found out, she probably about 11 and 12. And I remember, y'all, she busted in my room and she had tears in her eyes. Her whole face was like wet and swole. And she handed me that piece of paper like it was a 0% DNA test. And I couldn't do nothing. Y'all couldn't do nothing. I just apologized to her. Like, she didn't even know like it was for unaliving. But now she 19 and she know. Without going into too much details, even though he's been incarcerated for her whole life, he has done a whole lot for my child, his child. From him directly, indirectly. I told y'all Nicole's still around. Yeah, but that was the day my life changed. And how did it change? I wasn't prepared to be a single mother. After that happened, like I said, I'm going back. I played the waiting game, but once he got that 99 years, like I literally could not suck in it. I literally went back to work, started paying my bills, and like literally took care of my child. I did not cry till he was gone for 5 years. And I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. That first year, I just was fucked up. I had it wasn't around, wasn't finna fucking be around. I was in that courtroom, and I just I just did what I had to do. Like I literally had tunnel vision. The first year of the anniversary, I slept the whole day. I slept the whole day. I think Mama had Noonie. And y'all, let me tell y'all how bad my nerve was. This happened July 3rd, July the 4th. Well, I always say July the 3rd because that's when I found out. I slept the whole day. July the 2nd. And the whole day, July 3rd, I just woke up. And I didn't cry for 5 years. And on that fifth year when I cried, y'all, I literally could not stop crying. Like I literally fucking bawled all day. Now it bothers me, but it bothers me different now. I'm kind of past him being here, so like that, like the baby 19 now. I just feel now like he missed out on a lot of his life. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he never got a chance to grow old, because even though he left when he was 21 and he now what, 41, 42, that nigga still 21. Like you go to jail, like I feel like you be stuck at that age and that time. I honestly feel like that. But that's the day my life changed and was never the same again. Never fucking ever. What lesson I learned from that? Oh baby, I didn't fuck with no more street niggas. If you was in the street, fuck you. Cause I feel like I couldn't lose a nigga to the jail no more. It wasn't even about dying. I fucked Like I see what they do to y'all. They don't play. They do not play. But yesterday my life changed. Okay, y'all, so I forgot this part. So we is in a courtroom and me and Nicole, I showed y'all how we was locked in hands. So the jury read it and they gave them, paragraph 2 and 99 years. When they said 99 years, my knees buckled and I fell to the ground. And Nicole literally lifted me up. And when I got up, I literally felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. Like I felt like I was watching myself. I broke down, bust out the courtroom, went through the first double dose, went through the second double dose. His auntie had my baby. I picked my baby up and I left. As soon as I left the courtroom in my car, I called my best friend Mika, and I went over his best friend house, the one who I was telling y'all about previously.